it makes sense why you're losing sleep, because the things that you're doing, it's the details and small stuff. But also, like, if something goes wrong, you have to really think about making sure like you're doing it right. So like the plumbing's right, so it doesn't leak. Because there's just like a lot of, I don't know, weight behind it that you don't want things to, like, you don't want to ruin the house and have something like,
yes and no,
especially with electrical and plumbing. Right. And
yes and no. And I mean, I've done enough electrical, I've done enough plumbing.
Doesn't scare you?
It doesn't scare me, but I also have a level of confidence that, well, at least ease. It's because majority of the people that follow me, they're like, you gave me the courage to do this, or or how do I get the courage to do that? My thing is like, what's the worst? It's your house. What's the worst that can happen? Yes, you screw something up. You're gonna have to deal with it. You know how to turn the water off. You know how to hit the breaker, turn the power off so it's safe. And maybe you screwed it up, but just like I would wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh, I think I did that wrong. And then you go figure out how to fix it and make it right.
Just problem solving.
That's not problem solving. And so I think more people need to understand that it's your house. Like, to a degree, yeah, if you do something wrong, yes, there could be a fire. Yes, there could be flooding. Flooding, it's not like it's going to flood overnight. You're going to wake up in the morning and there's going to be a puddle. Guess what you're going to do? Shut the water valve off. Go back to where you were. Find where the leak is, and then do it the right way. Go online, figure out what you could have done. Maybe you had a bad crimp on your pecs. Whatever it is, you solve that. Electrical is the same thing. You hook it up, you hit the switch. It either works or it doesn't. If it doesn't and your breaker keeps triggering, don't try to hit it back and try to like jam the breaker. Go and undo it. Get online, figure out, type in how to wire in a light switch to a 3-way light switch, and then boom, you're back in business. So it's not like everything can be undone, and it's your property. It's not. It's far more scarier if it's a client that you're working for and you screwed up, because now you're looking at somebody's gonna sue you, damages and all that stuff. But if it's your property, you're the one that can go fix it, and you can be the one that can go look it up. And then if still you can't figure out, you can go, I'll just go hire a guy to go fix my problem. That's totally fine. So
and most people skip that step and just hire the person.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's a different thing. Is like if you're trying to save the money and if you're trying to
like do it yourself.
Right.
It makes sense.
The old DIY.
So
I mean, this is this whole like 360 about sleep and why it's not happening.
So a couple nights ago you did not sleep well. You woke up early.
Oh, the 4:30.
And then that night, and then that evening, we had friends over, and you were just so tired. So they left kind of normal time. You went to sleep, and you woke up what time? Like 12:30? Because I had just gone to bed. No,
I woke up when Harper woke up. That was Harper doesn't wake up anymore really that much, and then that's the night that she decided to not have a good sleep.
But it was like because I remember looking at the time. It was like 12:30 or something. It wasn't even that like.
I don't know.
Late into the night. But you woke up not feeling well.
Oh, yeah. So
that's the night I'm talking about.
That was a miserable day because it was 4:30 and I've kind of been exhausted because I've been wrestling with this whole sleep thing for so long. And by the way, somebody wrote to me, they're like, because they heard us talking about this on the podcast about the sleep thing.
Because we will never not talk about it.
Right. And some guy wrote me, he's like, hey, have you ever considered maybe you have sleep apnea? My wife recommended to me, and I got a CPAP machine, and I've been sleeping better. And the thing is like I've been a respiratory therapist, so we dealt with sleep studies to work with people with CPAP machines. And with sleep apnea, it's two things. Either you're overweight and you have extra tissue obstructing your airway in your upper airway. So in the middle of the night, when that tissue relaxes, it occludes it, and then therefore it kind of makes you snore. So the big question is, you ask your spouse, does your spouse snore? And a lot of times people snore when they drink.
You do a little bit.
Well, if I drink and I go to bed and I sleep on my back, yes, it will, all the tissue in your back of your throat drips
but not
down.
Regularly. Yeah.
No, not regularly. And so that it's called an obstructive sleep apnea. So yes, you need a CPAP machine or don't drink before bed kind of thing.
Maybe you have like a mild version of it. I don't know.
But then the next one is central sleep apnea, which it's your brain having like a misfiring where you don't take as many breaths in the middle of the night. So some people can go for like a couple of seconds of not taking a breath. That's a signal that's not being fired. And
I have heard you like on a few occasions go like or like that.
Oh, well, I also have postnasal drip, and that
could be part of it.
That's an obstructive issue as well, which there's central and obstructive sleep apnea. One is anything in the way, could be postnasal drip, could be tissue, and the other one is central, which is your brain not firing and turning it on. But the thing is, there's a lot of diagnostic things where it's like, do you wake up with a headache? Do you get tired in the middle of the day? Meaning, like, you wake up with a headache because, like, carbon dioxide retention.
Right.
If you're tired, meaning you didn't have a good sleep, kind of thing. So there's a lot of like things like that.
You would kind of.
With me now, I don't really wake up too many times in the middle of the night. It's more of like, I'm up. Like, so
once you do wake up, you're up.
Yeah. Listen, if I'll go to bed at 10 and I won't wake up till 3 or 4, but I'll be in the deepest sleep of my life between that time. Right. And so the only way to really diagnose is to understand that this is happening exactly at the exact time.
Every night.
Every night after a good solid
It's
sleep.
not random.
No. It would be a different story if, like, I've been in and out all night. Every night you're like, hey, you're snoring. That's a whole thing. It was like, that's probably sleep apnea.
Hey, thanks for watching our Next Door Neighbors podcast.
And be sure to capture the full episode anywhere podcasts are streamed and including our YouTube channel, Next Door Neighbors.